Do you like weed? Cannabis? I mean, as an investment. I am Skylar James, welcome back to the channel, and today I wanted to share my opinion on the much hyped GRWG stock. I have to emphasize my opinion because my analysis might be counter to what you've been told about the company. If you've already invested or are thinking of starting a garden of your own, a position of your own, you should hear me out on what 3 things the big wigs have gotten wrong about this stock. This video will answer what does GRWG sell, who are GRWG's customers, and what will be different in 5 years. I'll answer if this pick is truly a growth stock or if the earnings will wither on the vine. So what exactly is GRWG? Well, it's a one-stop shop for everything required to be a successful cannabis grower. They sell soils, fertilizers, lights, and climate controllers. As far as brick and mortar stores go, they aren't small either. The ones near me are thousands of square feet, and they sell up to 50 different brands. Marketing is huge in this specialized field, and GRWG gives brands the space to compete with each other in one location. If you watch the pundits and read the message boards, you've heard that GRWG is the Home Depot of pot growing. They even have the ex-Home Depot CEO on staff. But is it a fair comparison? Let's break this down together. I'll use a metaphor with Home Depot. In this metaphor, professional home builders replace big-time cannabis growers. Home Depot replaces GRWG, and lumber replaces cannabis cultivation supplies. So speaking in generalities here, I'm sure home building is more detailed than is let on, just like growing cannabis is too. Very generally, lumber in the home building process has 3 waypoints. There's a lumber mill where raw wood is processed into lumber. There's a lumber yard that buys lumber from the mill and sells it to the builder, and the builder then constructs the house. Home Depot is synonymous with the lumber yard for this analogy. The builder constructs, let's say, 100 houses a year and obtains all of its lumber through Home Depot. Home Depot purchased the wood from the lumber mill. Home Depot is a transactional middleman, nothing more, taking a small cut for facilitating the sale. The lumber mills rarely sell directly to builders. The same is true in cannabis cultivation. In the vast majority of cases, the companies manufacturing and distributing cultivation equipment do not sell their goods directly to cannabis growers. Just like I have friends in the construction industry, I also have friends in the commercial cannabis grower industry. This is coming right from them. They have no choice but to use a GRWG-like store to obtain their cultivation gear. So keeping with this Home Depot analogy, do-it-yourselfers like me and you are buying lumber from the same Home Depot as the builders. Just like home growers are buying grow supplies at GRWG alongside the commercial guys. Even GRWG's slogan is where the pros go to grow. They're boasting about the fact that both pros and amateurs are buying cultivation equipment there. That fact enhances their credibility with prospective customers and investors like us. Wouldn't you agree? So yes, saying that in 2021, GRWG is the Home Depot of cannabis cultivation sounds accurate. GRWG is also a national chain, but they don't have anywhere near the saturation of Home Depot. And GRWG is not alone in this retail space. A good chunk of these cultivation supplies are sold on the interwebs, and there's probably a few thousand mom and pop competitors across the country as well. The firm has tried to weed out the competition by actually buying up these mom and pop stores. While the GRWG Home Depot analogy holds true for right now, for this year, I think it is hollow for the future. Earlier I mentioned my buddy who is a local licensed commercial cannabis grower. He doesn't shop at GRWG because he likes their service. He shops at GRWG because he doesn't have much other choice. Sure, he could order this equipment online. He could order a few thousand blocks of Groden rock wool on the internet, but it's 50% more than GRWG. He could even go to his local mom and pop hydro store and only pay 25% more than GRWG charges. But what he can't do is buy that rock wool right from Groden. He has to go through a distributor or a Home Depot-like store. His particular farm needs $100,000 of cultivation gear each year, and everything he buys from GRWG is marked up between 10 and 50% from the distributor. The big ticket pieces like this Quest dehumidifier, GRWG marks that up 10%. And the $5 box of disposable gloves, GRWG marks those up 50%. The store is very open with their big spenders about these margins as well. So there you have it. That's the business model. Middleman, flip the equipment and supplies for a fee. And why can't commercial growers like him avoid this middleman who goes by the name GrowGeneration? Well, Hawthorne Gardening, it's a massive cannabis supply company owned by Scotts Miracle-Gro. They refuse to sell directly to cannabis companies because of the legal ambiguities of selling equipment to cannabis businesses because they manufacture a federally illegal substance. What happens if federal law changes? And by the way, check out my Scotts Miracle-Gro video in the channel if you want a deep dive on why that company is a big time buy. Finally, question 3. What does the future for GrowGen look like? Well, their largest revenue source, those commercial growers, they want to buy directly from the likes of Hydrofarm and Hawthorne. What's stopping them? The federal laws. At this point, cannabis has so much momentum at the state level that I think it's only a matter of time before it's legalized federally. Once that happens, GrowGen's defensible moat of being a distributor for the manufacturers, well, that's going to evaporate. How about their economies of scale? They'll be competing with massive Amazon-like internet sales companies that don't have the overhead of brick and mortar. GrowGen's revenue will crater, just like Sears, JCPenney, and Best Buy. While the GrowGeneration stock has bloomed in the past year, I think it's only a matter of time before those investment dollars start to wilt. We all know these federal law changes are on the horizon. I think most investors are looking at that potential and thinking, yes, this can only get better with legalization. But don't you think the growers and the distributors both want to cut GrowGen out of the equation? The only thing keeping those two from hooking up is a law change, and I think an impending law change. So here's the final piece. Who will still shop at GrowGen 5 years from now? And what would that look like as revenue? My best guess, just your average Cheech and Chong growing a handful of plants in their basements and bedroom closets. They will still shop at GrowGeneration and spend a few $100 here and there. Nothing like the 6-figure purchases by commercial grow operations. So, the Home Depot of cannabis growers? I don't think so. By 2025, I'm betting that GrowGeneration will lose its commercial grower customer base and be left with only home growers as customers. They will be saddled with high overhead costs, declining top-line revenue, and a much reduced ACV or average customer value. That to me doesn't constitute a long-term investment. For all of my friends that have made a little green on this stock so far, I'm hoping they can harvest those gains and head for the hills. Have you invested in GrowGen and had a good run? Maybe you just support the local industry by frequenting your local grower. Let me know in the comments down below how high you think this stock will go before it goes up in smoke. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you on the next one. If you like this sort of ag investment analysis, let me know, because I would be glad to look at some others in this space. It was really fun to do some research and even call a couple people and chat with them, see what they thought about investing in weed, essentially. So anyway, thanks for joining. Bye.